All right, so today's episode is a Q&A special. We mentioned it a couple of weeks ago on the podcast that we wanted you guys to get your comments in there, and obviously we can then respond. How do you both deal with negativity? You get DMs all the time, making your videos right, or you're not monetizing your videos right, or you're not doing this right, and it's like, have you got 2 million subscribers? Are you getting 1 million views a video within 2 days? Are you not? No, well, fuck off then. How many times has Adam blocked the toilet at home?
I remember doing it at my mum's house, and she gave me one of those, what do you call them? The rubber glove things.
Marigold.
Yeah, I remember just being like, having to break it up and just being like...
We have lost this today, you know. How are you going to make an episode out of this? Like, he's just trashed me. And then we both just...
You're going to be like a battery farmed worker, man. After you're just going to be sweating. You'll be like a husk. He's working over the whole weekend, 700 hours of straight editing. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Josh.
Welcome back to the Breaking Bread. I say back every time as if like people have... Like, if somebody's listening to one episode, they're probably not coming back.
The statistics would disagree with that,
no,
sir.
Right there. I'm being self-effacing for no reason. But welcome back to another episode, which definitely wasn't filmed directly after the last one. We just happened we were wearing the same clothes. I mean, Josh always wears the same t-shirt anyway.
Yeah, that was a recent comment actually. We tried to dig it out, but then somebody commented saying, "Why does Josh always wear black clothes? Is it to make himself look bigger?" Because on the video of our vlog down in London said that I looked extremely skinny.
You've taken that to heart, haven't you? You've been like hurt a bit by that comment.
I don't know whether it's a compliment or not. Like,
it's definitely not a compliment. I mean, you're a bit wiry, aren't you? Let's say I wouldn't say you're skinny.
Lanky.
I saw one on the lottery podcast where they said Josh would buy 600,000 pairs of Vans.
Sponsored by Vans.
Oh, imagine that, if only.
I used to put it on my Instagram all the time because I've always wore Vans, and I always used to put hashtag not sponsored by Vans on every post.
I got a message the other day from. I'm kind of giving him a bit of a shout out not by design. Is this high dive? Maybe it's not even high dive.
It says bad luck on it. I don't know who's.
Maybe it's not. I don't know. I got on the day from somebody saying, "Do you want to do something together?" I was like, "Nah, mate. I just buy you stuff." You know, don't send me any free shit because then you're gonna want something in return. Just be happy that I'm wearing your stuff and people might know that. Like,
that's why I quit YouTube because they kept sending me stuff and going like, "Can you do a video?" And I'm like, "Do you know how much work it takes to do a video for your stuff?"
Especially with clothes and shit. Like, I'm not a fashion. I'm the antithesis of a fashion YouTube. I'm the least fashionable person on planet fucking Earth. But anyway. That's the what we talk about. We talk about anything. Why do we just go off on these weird rambly tangents?
I think that's why people like to listen. Is
because it's not polished in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, people can see that there's some structure gone into it, but most of the time we are just sort of freeballing it. Like, let's roll with the punches. I'll start this conversation off. Did you catch the UFC this weekend, lad?
I had to catch it, mate, because fucking my mate Paddy the Paddy was fighting. Fucking, I'll stop doing the accent. He was fighting, wasn't he? So I got to watch Paddy. Can't lie, I wanted to see him get splattered a bit though.
Oh no!
Wanted to see that hype train killed, not literally killed. No, it felt I got to be careful how I phrase this because I know Paddy's he probably doesn't listen to the podcast.
He's a fan of yours.
I know he's a fan, and he seems to talk about me all the time in scenarios where nobody's going to know. Like he'll be on it could be on Jonathan Ross, and he'd probably say like, "Oh yeah, watch this guy called BeardMeatsFood." Everyone's going to be like, "Who?" But yeah, he seems like a decent lad. He had a very powerful message to extend at the end of the fight, if you remember watching. Yeah, I don't know, but a little bit of me, I don't know, maybe it's just like bloodlust. Just wanted to see him get penciled, you know? Like, I don't know. But as soon as the other bloke came out, dude looked like a pound stretcher Pete Wentz. I thought he's not gonna tangle up our man Paddy. But yeah, I did see it, yeah.
He didn't do bad, the other dude that Paddy fought though, because he's like, he seems a pretty accomplished grappler and wrestler, and he did wrestling for a full round. I think Paddy lost the first round, didn't he?
Yeah, that's where I said this before. That's where I want to appreciate it more, but it loses me a bit when they go to ground.
Yeah,
just only because I don't understand. Sometimes you know who's like in control, right, and who's won the ground bit.
Yeah,
but other times I'm like, I don't see what he's trying to do. I know that the commentators be like, oh, he's in full guard, he's going to try and get him in this and that, and I'm like, I don't really get it. But because you said you know all about BJJ, right? Your fucking super purple belt or whatever. And you said that like the finishing move that he used was like, I think the terminology he used was sick.
It was very technically sound.
He trapped his arm and he choked him out. It wasn't like just a choke. It wasn't just a standard rear naked choke, was it?
No. So he managed to put a body triangle on him whilst trapping one arm, which left him one arm. The guy that was getting choked had one arm to defend two of Paddy's arms. So at that point, it was just like it's over. Like
maritime.
Yeah, we knew that that was all she wrote. But technically, that was like amazing, you know. So I really enjoyed that, and I actually had that conversation in the gym this morning with somebody. Like we were chatting about the. Did I
tell you, by the way, I was in the gym this morning.
After blowing my leg to pieces a few months ago, I'm back in action. But the guy was like, oh yeah, I really enjoy watching MMA and the UFC, but he had no idea about grappling. I'm like, it must be really difficult to watch to not know. If you don't know about grappling, you're losing like a majority of the thing. Like, you know, how can you watch it and not know what's...
I think it's like Danny said it right when he came on. It's like, if you like UFC but not the grappling, then you just like kickboxing, really.
Yeah. And
I kind of get that, but it is hard to understand, I guess, if you've never done it, because like you can see if somebody's winning in like a boxing match or a kickboxing match if you know nothing about how to punch somebody.
Yeah.
But like when they're on the ground, I can usually tell who's winning, but like a lot of the techniques, the way that he won, I was just like, he won.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it and think technically that's really good because I don't know any better, right?
Did it not spur on a little bit of grappling in your household?
Yeah,
you sent us DMs in the group chat, man. Like, he's sending us photos of Mrs. Beard choking him out. I'm like, this is getting weird. Like, it's late on, a couple of wines. I'm thinking, what the fuck are they doing now?
It's not the first time either. But because whenever I think about UFC, I think, you know, and I see them get, because commonly if they're submitted, a lot of the ones I've seen, it's like a choke, right, or a rear naked choke. That's a technical term, right?
Yeah,
I got that right.
Yeah.
And I think, like, why do they tap? Not why do they tap, right? I get why they tap, but like, if you've been choked out, you're gonna lose consciousness, right? It's not pure pain in the sense that like an arm bar, you're gonna break your arm or something.
Yeah.
I get why they tap there because you're protecting yourself. So I kind of think, like, wouldn't you just go to the death and think, fuck, I was pass out?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have done that.
So, but that got me thinking. I was like, Linz, get me in a choke hold, right, and see if you can actually, if I can resist the choke to the point that like you can just choke me. Right, which was bad because I used my throat to like make a living. That sounded weird. But anyway, I wasn't trying to resist in any way. I just said, get me in a choke, see if you can choke me out. And sure enough, she choked me out, right, pretty quick. So I was like, and like, so I actually tapped.
Can you upload the picture of the group chat?
I did send you a picture mid choke.
What was really funny, because I commented back saying, can I please coach this? Because Lindsay had her elbow was slightly off to the side. I put, get your elbow under his chin, grab your own bicep with that hand, and then hide your hand behind his head. And then the next message back was, this is Lindsay, Adam's unconscious.
It was actually her as well. I wasn't unconscious, but she said, let me message him back. Then we had the second round, and I said, right, let's do it again, but see if you get me a choke, see if I can actually get out of it. But if I try to get out, and obviously I could because she's weak, but yeah, no, she like I get why he would, because nobody wants to be unconscious, do they? I guess that's why they tap. But yeah, no, I watched the UFC and I enjoyed some elements of it. Yeah.
What about Molly? Big Molly Meatball McCann. She almost finished it again with another spinning elbow to the...
It's like Street Fighter, right? She's pulling out special moves, like signature moves and whatnot. Yeah, I did watch it, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought when I saw him come in, don't judge a book by its cover, I guess, because the other woman looked in immaculate shape. Yeah. She looked like a fighter, man. Not that Molly doesn't look. I'm just saying, like, she looked more physically imposing.
She was jacked, wasn't she? She was like, she had more muscle density than George. He looks like
she had more muscle density than all of us. I think she was she looked really jacked. But yeah, I think she would just don't know. I think there's just a certain ferocity, isn't there, about Molly? That she kind of gets that look in her eye. Yeah, I mean, she looks very scary.
She's intense.
I mean, I'm always like sledging Paddy a little bit on her because he won't come on the podcast, and he keeps ducking these videos, like eating videos and whatnot.
Well, he ain't gonna come on now after you said you wanted to see him get penciled.
He's got sense of humour. I'm only joking, but I wouldn't be sledging Molly. I think like if I said anything bad, she'd remember. Then if she ever saw me in public, she'd just fucking like clothesline me or whatever. Yeah, but no, I did. Yeah, I watched it.
There we go. Then that's the UFC London recap from us idiots. Right, we'll start off as we do with every other podcast with a YouTube comment. Roll VT.
It's time for a YouTube comment from you.
All right, so this week's comment comes from Bear. that's what it
Why do you say that in such like an erotic fashion?
Hey, Josh.
Look at me in the eye when you do that.
You got Semi on again after he goes, Breaking Beard. Hey Josh, the biggest dad mistake I made, and the first one was on Christmas Eve when our firstborn was 9 months old, now 9 years old. She literally started walking on the day and spent an afternoon walking from me to the coffee table, sofa and back for hours. Her mum walks in the door from some last minute shopping and I excitedly have our little one walk to her.
Walk to the coffee table.
Sorry, I can't.
Do you want me to read it?
Do you want to say it, George?
Let me zoom in. Right.
Oh, that's the problem, right? Now you've got it. Okay.
I got this. Right.
What's he doing?
I zoomed in, I couldn't find it again.
Oh, God.
Her mum walks in.
Jesus H, man.
Do you want to read it?
If you can't read
All right,
it.
let's start this again.
No,
Right.
with this getting left in. Fuck you.
No.
Her mum walks in.
No, you've got to go from the top.
No, I know we're leaving that in. You can fuck you. Her mum walks in the door from some last minute shopping and I excitedly have our little one walk to the coffee table to show her mum. Instantly falls over and smacks the corner of her head on the coffee table. We then spent the next 2 hours getting her checked to A&E, responsible, going over what happened, signing forms, etc. Every Christmas photo was wrecked due to a reindeer-sized bump on her head. After 9 years, I get reminded every year by my other half, and Facebook memories, don't knock yourself for it. We all hurt ourselves as kids and adults too. Don't know why you had such difficulty
I
reading
don't know
that.
why I struggled to read that.
That's certainly not Mbear's fault, and happy to hear that your daughter's made it to 9 without any more severe injuries.
Yeah, I'm quite lucky that the audience came to my rescue after you basically trashed me on a weekly basis for injuring my
Well,
child.
I don't have a kid, though, so I guess I don't know how commonly it happens.
Very commonly, according to the audience. So thanks, Mbear. I'm sorry I couldn't read your comment. I don't know what just happened to me there. I think I broke for a little bit. It's been a long morning. This is the second recording of the day.
We're halfway, not even halfway.
I know we're not. It's your fault, mate. All right, so today's episode is a Q&A special. And we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago on the podcast that we wanted you guys to get your comments in there. And obviously we can then respond. But I want to start off by asking, we'll have a question each that you're dying to know the answer to. I'll go first.
All right.
Would you rather...
Fuck off with that shit.
Can we keep that in? Just bleep out the swear words? Because like
You've done that exact same one before.
Yeah, no, but you told me we had to cut it out.
For good fucking reason, you tit.
So you'll never know what I said there, but we'll bleep that bit out. Adam, have you got a question for me, mate?
Oh, I thought you had some question in reserve.
No.
How many lengths of an Olympic swimming pool, so 50 metres I think it is, do you think you could do before you drown? Before you drowned? So like, how many could you do before you had to get out, basically? I'm not saying you have to drown.
I think when I did the sprint triathlon, when I did the sprint distance triathlons, that was...
I knew I instantly regret that question. I knew it was going to be a triathlon thing
that was
coming
16 lengths, that, I think, for like 500 metres. That's that right? Somebody do the maths. Somebody run those numbers.
So you think...
So that was like 8 minutes.
You think to do 500 metres in a 50-metre pool is 16 lengths?
No.
How many lengths is it, Josh?
800 metres. Oh, no, wait.
So, right, in a
60...
This is getting out of control, man. What's wrong with him today? He's broken.
400 metres.
George, switch him off and back on again.
I have lost it today. How far is it?
So 50. Have you seen it? The Olympic pool that they used to have in Leeds doesn't exist now.
Oh, I'm thinking 25.
All right, well,
sorry, I'm thinking 25
You can give
metre
it to me in any increment if you like. How many lengths of a 25-metre pool, and I will just half it.
I think I could do like 2 kilometres. I think that's what I could do.
Right, okay. Jesus. I didn't think it was going to be so complicated. I thought it was going to be a really quick one. We could get out of the way and then...
What a shitty question.
You know what? Speaking of being like washed out, my dad nearly died once because he got like... he's dead now, but like he nearly died earlier in his life when he... I always remember like, we were on this... first time we went on holiday again, and I remember him coming back to like fucking pale, right? And like almost crawling. He could barely walk, right? Because he got like washed out to... Because he used to swim like miles out, which I never get. And like he said, the current just kind of... because I guess the tide was going out, and he said he was swimming, and he'd go back like 5 yards. He said, "I've never swam as hard in my life," and I fully believed in like the state of him when he got back. Like I thought I was going to take him to hospital. Like he clearly just been swimming for his life.
That's
But
terrifying.
He's brushed death a few times, but he did brush death a few times. We got him in the end, but
I hate the ocean. It scares the fuck out of me. Don't like it.
What, because of the large predators that were in there too?
Nothing to do with that. Just the fact that I can't navigate it.
I mean, it doesn't really, the ocean doesn't scare me that much. But if I was plonked in the middle of it, I couldn't see land, I'd probably be pretty terrified. But otherwise, I think I'd be all right. Do you have a question for me? Or
I don't think I do. If you were in a 25-meter pool, how far do you think you could swim? If it were 50 meters or 100 meters?
One job. I don't think I could do that many. Lindsay's really, it'd be good to ask her because she can swim like crazy, which you wouldn't think to look at her. Because she's not really the athletic type. Yeah. She's really good at swimming, which because they say swimming is more about technique than anything. Yeah. I don't think I could. I can swim, but I'd probably be, these days I'm not that fit, so I'd probably be struggling to do like a reasonable pace. I don't think I could do much more than 20 right now. Well, lengths of a 25-meter pool. So what's that? That's 500 meters. So not many.
I thought you got to take your socks off then and start counting.
Hey, that was a reasonable amount of thinking time. You had to think about 7 minutes just to do 6 cuts. Jesus, this must be a live fucking podcast pretty much.
Well, for all 4 people that are still listening or watching this episode, this is a Q&A episode, so we'll move straight on to the audience's questions for us. And we're going to start off with Milos Fossa. How many toilets do you think the average person uses in a lifetime?
What a question. I don't know. That's a good one. I don't know. Is there a way you think there's an answer to that in Google, like an average? Well, I don't know how you would assess it.
Remember when somebody asked us how many doors or how many wheels there are in the world? Yeah. And are there more doors than wheels?
You can never know.
Maybe you can do the maths like...
I don't know. I bet it's in the thousands because, think about public toilets and whatnot. But I don't know how many. 6,000? It depends on the person, right?
Are you going to give us an answer to this? Or we're just going to
I'll try if Google gives me an answer.
How is it possible to know that? I don't know. How can you even arbitrarily?
And what's classed as a toilet?
What? Are you having a stroke or something? Was it one of those things that you piss into?
Nah, but anything could be a toilet. It's a bit
spoken like a true Navyman here.
Have you got an answer, George?
Well, not a definitive answer, but people are saying I would estimate that in 30 years I've pooped in 150 toilets and peed in around 500 toilets. I don't know.
I don't even know you'd make that estimation. My guess would be in the high thousands if you travel a lot.
Who's got that much time in their life to try and calculate that?
I don't know.
People that have retired after they've got 2 million subscribers. That's who. On to the next question. Carlos Wilkin has asked, how many times has Adam blocked the toilet at home?
Ooh, that's good. I don't really keep score, but I've not done it for a long, long time. So I haven't. It's been so long. I've not done it in this current house that I live in. And we've been there for what, 3?
Even with that one for the week that you said with the width of your wrist.
Yeah, no, it went down fine and dandy. Oh. And I've had the reasonably powerful toilet. But the last time I think I remember doing it, actually I've probably done it since, but the last time I remember doing it was when I lived back at home when I was, I don't know, in my mid-20s. And that's probably because I was eating like my shits used to be humongous, which I know you think they were massive now, but I used to eat because I used to eat tons of salad, right? Yeah. Well, no, it was more like I would eat vast amounts of like incredibly low calorie foods, right? So I'd eat huge salads. Obviously, there's more fiber in that, so your body's going to rid itself of more, right? You're not going to, you know what I mean? If you're eating things which are high in fiber, that has to leave you insoluble anyway. But I remember doing it at my mum's house, and she gave me one of those, what do you call them? The rubber glove things.
Marigold.
Yeah, and that's just like, honestly, I've got almost no gag reflex, right? Like I can put my fingers in my throat if I have to, and I won't gag, right? Don't ask me why that is, but I remember just being like, having to break it up and just be like, so that's the last time I remember, and that was probably my probably like before the whole competitive eating nonsense.
I thought of a question for you from me.
All right, okay.
Have you ever done a poo where it were that long and you've had to stand up to break it off?
No.
All right. I'm sure many people are thinking that at home.
No, like normally my poops aren't often solid, but let's not get into that on this podcast, shall we? It's been a long time since I blocked the toilet, believe it or not. Believe it or not. To my knowledge anyway, I might have blocked a public one and just left it that way.
Next question, Matt Curtis said, do either of you have tattoos and what are your overall feelings towards them?
Would you want to go first, Gaffer? Because I know you've got a tattoo.
I've got many tattoos actually. They're all covered up.
I've seen it. Well, the one on your ankle's not.
I've got one on my ankle.
You can't afford socks.
I've got one big one down my side there, and then I've got one on my inner arm there. So yeah,
Does it say insert bicep here?
yes, I've got tattoos. I'm a huge fan. Here's a bit.
What is the one that you have to explain what they are then?
So I've started a half a sleeve on this arm. So in fact, I've got one on my shoulder as well. Actually, I don't really want to say what they are just yet because I want to finish it. But on my side, I've got some text, some writing from. So my granddad always used to say to me, "Live every day as if it's your last, and one day it'll be true," which I thought were a nice quote to live by. So at 17-year-old, I got "Live every day as if it's your last" on my side, which is fucking agonizing, with like an angel going for it, and like it's fucking huge, and it was so painful to get done. I've got an anchor on my foot because I went to Leeds Tattoo Convention and I got excited and I'm at sea now.
I thought you can say it wasn't everything.
Yeah,
I thought you could say
yeah.
somebody did it at sea.
No.
My granddad had one of those, like those fully old fashioned, like that you could barely tell what it was.
Yeah.
One, because his skin was wrinkly as shit because he was like 90. But like somebody had literally got like a needle and a cork and some ink and just fucking pounded it into his arm. Well,
the first trip at sea, right? We were deployed down towards like Libya, and then we came back up to Italy because there were a base in Italy where we used to get all ammunitions from, and we had a bet whilst we were at sea for whoever lost the bet had to get a Popeye anchor on the forearm, the top of the forearm, and a guy called Ian lost. So me and him, he lost, and he had to go get this anchor on the top of his forearm, which I imagine looks so shit now that he's like, a middle-aged man.
Yeah.
And a dude called Giuseppe tattooed him in where were we? We were in Taranto, Italy, south, in the heel of Italy. That's where we got it done. So yeah, I'm a big fan of tattoos. That was one of the reasons why I actually got into content and all that, because I was a big fan of like Miami Ink and that sort of reality style show of content, which sort of reflects. Do you ever see it? No,
I've never even known that before.
Yeah, so that was one of my things.
Probably shouldn't be surprising to you though, because I'm to the contrary. I don't. I mean, I think tattoos look. We're
both broken out with today.
We are, yeah. And it's only just beginning. I think especially if you get like those full sleeves that look really good. I mean, there's nothing worse to me than a shit tattoo, like really bad ones.
Yeah.
But I used to. I know a few people that have really good sleeves, and I know a couple of people that have dog shit sleeves. But sleeves you're really fully committed to it. They don't look weird because they're isolated on your arm or whatever. I think they can look really good. But to me, I've never really been that interested in them. Probably in the same way that I'm not that interested in dressing nice. And I think almost now it's like it seems more original to not have a tattoo than to have one. There's so many people that have them. I also have quite a low pain threshold. But yeah, I don't know what I would get tattooed on me. If I was going to get a tattoo, it would be something very meaningful. And then I think like, what my Guy Pearson, like Memento, am I going to forget my kid's name or something?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's what she's called. So yeah, I don't have any and I don't plan on getting any.
Yeah, I'm weird. Like you get what you pay for with tattoos, and I'm not even going to say who my tattoo artist is because he's booked so far in advance and he's so fucking expensive.
Well, the good ones are.
Yeah, like he's a pure, like he specializes in realism, and that's why that's in fact the reason you've not actually probably not seen my arm, the tattoo on my arm, because when I'm on the podcast, I purposely cover it up because it's like
I didn't even know, man.
It's half done. And it really pisses me off because
Would you not show it now?
Nah, I'd have to take my top off and then you don't want to see that.
Sleeve not roll up. Far enough.
No, like that's as far as it'll go.
It can't get past his massive arm, can't you tell?
Frigging biceps.
Let him show it to, that could be a thing. You could show it to us when it's done in whatever, 2025.
Yeah, but so my tattoo artist is £800 a day. And just for reference,
that,
I mean, I've got fucking long arms, but like I've got that much of my arm done and that took a full day. And then I've got my shoulder, so I've literally got patches that look like a twat.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
But that's got to be how it is, right?
It's a work in progress.
It's like those. I was talking to George before we started rolling. Like for both for the account, the Twitter account for Exposure.
Oh yeah.
And you see people asking for free tattoos there, and I think or complaining about the price somebody's charging for a tattoo, and I think, man, if there's one thing you got to pay top dollar for, it's a tattoo because it's going to be on you forever, and you probably don't want it to look wank. So
right, next question. Lauren Griffin, do you have any upcoming videos, trips, activities in the next year which you are super excited about
Has Lauren asked before?
Yeah,
I think
we mentioned her last week.
Thanks, Lauren. Thanks for
as little or as much detail as you wish to share.
Any trips I'm super excited for.
Yeah,
I don't really get super excited about anything. I mean, I'm excited for I'm going to Canada again in a couple of days, so I'm excited for that. Because I think that's the habitat in which the best videos I make are usually filmed. Not Canada specifically. I just mean, like, when I'm going away for a dedicated series of videos that I want to make. And there are going to be a couple of videos which aren't like, fried English breakfasts. Although, funnily enough, somebody actually messaged me from a place in Ontario saying, can you come do my English breakfast challenge? And I'm like, you're taking a piss, man. Like, I'm going to come out to Canada and do an English breakfast. Why have you even got an English breakfast? You know what I mean? But yeah, so I'm excited for that. But I mean, other than that, a lot of people I think have an itinerary or some kind of story arc or some like way distant plan. I don't really. I just like that kind of organic run and gun style thing. So I don't really have anything planned that's that amazing, I'm afraid. But I will try to make still some amazing videos, I promise.
When you come back, you mentioned last week on the podcast, the week before, that Canada do amazing tomato ketchup flavored crisps.
No, they just do. They're not amazing. They just do ketchup flavored crisps.
Can you bring some back? Can you fit one in your case? Like,
sure. It'll probably come back battered, so it'll just be pieces of, it'll be mashed up.
Yeah, well, let's give it a go. Let's bring that back. Right, another one from James Blessed. How do you both deal with negativity? I presume that most people you encounter in your jobs would be friendly and positive, but I'm interested in how you deal with the detractors, whether it's online or in person. Cheers, guys. Keep up the great work.
Who's that? What's the
James Blessed.
James, let me just first of all congratulate you on what is a fantastically constructed sentence there. That's a very coherent sentence structure. I think you're an educated man. I think have we covered this before, or did we do it on that episode that was left on the cutting room floor, as you so often like to think? To me, shall I go first, or do you want to go first?
Go, yeah.
I'm the worst person to ask this question because I haven't given a shit about what people think of me since certainly when I was younger, they're doing it at school and whatnot. But since university age, I'm too old, I'm too intelligent. I don't want to come across as egotistical, but like, why would I bother what other people? Unless you actually have some kind of tangible control over my life. Like if you affect my friends and family, if you affect my health, if you affect the amount of money I can make, if I can pay my bills and whatnot, those are things that have a tangible effect on me. If you just want to say like I'm ugly, I'll be like, yeah, I'm probably a 4 out of 10 on a good day. You know what I mean? I've said that before. I can't change it. What does it matter to me what you think? You're a stranger. It doesn't even matter to me what my mum and what my gran think of me. And then it probably matters what my mum thinks. I probably shouldn't say that. But like even my friend, like if my friends actually legitimately said to me, I think you're an arsehole, which they probably have many times, it doesn't affect me. So a stranger certainly doesn't affect me. And I used to say to Linz, because there was a point in time, she's the opposite of me, right? She's really heavily affected by negative things from strangers. She always has been. I don't think she'll ever really change. But she always used to look, there was a time, especially when she was in more videos, right? And she would get like horrific abuse from people, which I'd never really fully understood because Linz wouldn't hurt a fly, right? She's like the opposite, not that I would hurt a fly, she's like the opposite of me. She's always positive. I've never seen her have a bad day. She's very rarely ever mad at me. And you can imagine like how much patience she must have to be like that. So it used to, I'd never understood it, but she would always she would actively seek out the comments, right? Yeah. And she would look at them and get upset about them. And in the end, I just said to her, I was like, imagine like I'm happy now, right? I'm far happier than I was at the bank, right? And we're happy. We don't really want for much, do we? We're not like mega rich, but there's nothing that we need that we don't have. We're lucky in that regard. And if you could have that, right, as a life, and imagine in exchange for that, you have to carry around like a pager with you. Remember those pages? On all day, and it beeps whenever somebody wants to say something negative about you. But it's your choice whether you read it or not. Would you do it? She's like, yeah, of course I would. I was like, well, that's exactly the same thing's happening right now. You don't have to read it. And even if you read it, you don't have to pay attention to it. What control does it have over you? So the way I deal with it is I don't deal with it. It means nothing to me. It's irrelevant to me.
Very well put.
But it's hard to, you can't coach that in people, I don't think. Because Linz will still, if Linz goes out now in public or she goes to work and she sees like someone laughing at the way she's dressed or whatever, she'd be pissed off by that. If I saw somebody like laugh or saying to me, you dress like an idiot, I'd be like, yeah, obviously, right? So it doesn't, I don't understand, like it's a mathematical equation to me. If X does not affect Y, then there's no outcome. So like if insult me all you like. It doesn't affect me.
I think it's like, for me, it's like, I guess constructive criticism is the only thing that's sort of relevant. You know, like if somebody can give constructive criticism or like constructive negativity for the greater good, then I would take that on board if it came from the right person that is in the position to do so. So if somebody came up to you and they're like, you get DMs all the time, you're not making your videos right, or you're not monetizing your videos right, or you're not doing this right, and it's like, have you got 2 million subscribers? Are you getting 1 million views a video within 2 days? Are you not? No, well, fuck off then.
I wouldn't say that. Like,
no, but like you get that.
I'll probably think that. Yeah,
you get that sort of stuff all the time, and it's like that's not constructive. It's people like just giving the 32 pence in. Like, who cares what they've got to say?
It reflects more on that person, I think, than the person that's receiving the abuse, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and I think you like. I think we're both very much in control of our environments now. So like we are in positions where you can enjoy everything that you do without sort of worry or criticism, if that makes sense. Like we're in a very we've got creative freedom across most aspects of our lives. Whereas like I think what happened recently, I went to a friend's birthday party, 30th, and I was back in the group of all the rugby lads. And I felt like when I were about 17 again, you know, where like the usual like lads are cracking jokes and taking piss out, and I felt uncomfortable. And I'm like, I've not been in this environment for ages. These guys are still living that world, like where they're just acting like 16-year-olds again. I'm like, it felt fucking weird. And then I started to feel a bit like self-conscious, thinking, well, what if they start throwing shade over here? And I'm like, oh, I don't like it, but I've got the control to get out of that, you know? So I'm not, like for me, I'm not really bothered. I don't often see any negativity.
It's not, everyone has negative bias. It's whether you let it affect you. Like Mike said when he was on the podcast. Happy to see that Mike's relaunched Entrepreneur Bingo, by the way.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fucking love that, man. That's, you know, people say like this channel should be bigger and whatnot. You get those kind of comments a lot. That Mike's, I mean, you can't really say that because he's only really just started recently uploading again because he's had some stuff to deal with. But Mike's channel is so good, and like I think it's so entertaining to see it play out. So yeah, that was a bit of a tangent, but Mike's a friend of the show, right? So
yeah, Mike Winnett. If you want to see it, he's done the Entrepreneur Forum. I was actually with him on Friday.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we're in Manchester. He's good. He's good. Like it was funny because this is also what's happened. So he threw an event in Manchester because he's got like this new Vamo community thing that is launched, and I said, you know, I'd happily go over. And somebody commented on. I put a post out saying, you know, Mike's throwing a party in Manchester today, a free bar, I heard. And then loads of people started commenting on it. And somebody commented saying, is Beard coming with you? So like he'd screenshot it and sent it to me. I'm like, what are we, like a fucking shit Ant and Deck? Like you don't come with me everywhere, and vice versa.
You'd be like the little kind of growth on my shoulder, which isn't quite a fully formed human. That's more like
no, he'd carry around in his backpack.
Yeah. So Mike commented because obviously you and him are like the celebrities, the faces of you've got influence. Me and Ian, his business partner, are almost like from a little Ant and Deck, like the shit. We're like the coat holders. That's what he references to. But anyway, James, thanks for the.
I didn't get an invitation to this though. I didn't get, but there was no free bar. It was just a joke.
There was actually a free bar. I didn't know if you'd be down for it.
Oh,
anyway.
I didn't even get asked. Fucking hell.
The last time you were at a free bar, you were very angry.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you wonder why I don't invite you places.
That was in London though. Was this Manchester?
Manchester.
I don't mind Manchester.
Manchester. But yeah, all in all, James, I think
sticks and stones and all that.
Yeah, like worry about. I'm like from Meet the Fockers where there's like circles like that. That's me.
Yeah, tight circle.
I've got a very small circle. I just sort of concentrate on that. Everything else is just noise.
Why do you give me a look like that? Do you think he was talking about his ass? That's why you looked at me like that.
Right, let's move on to the Breaking Beard segment.
Is that all the questions?
No, I've got more.
Just come in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You changed the structure up a little bit. I get it. George is worth his weight in gold, isn't he, man?
Roll VT.
Which wouldn't be that much weight, actually.
Okay, so first question this week is for Adam. Which of Shakespeare's plays is the longest? Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, or Macbeth?
Oh man, I should really know this. You kind of selected something which is in my wheelhouse of like academic speciality, but
completely intentional.
I've never really been a big shit. I mean, I like Romeo and Juliet actually, but
fucking up my question it that hard.
You're gonna get something about like naval vessels, I reckon. Give me the options again. It was Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, and Macbeth.
Yeah. Longest play.
It's not Romeo and Juliet. So it's
Look at the confidence that he's just said in that.
It's a toss up between Hamlet and Macbeth.
How long's Romeo and Juliet then?
What, in fucking words?
No.
I think I've got it memorized or something. It's a play, isn't it? Macbeth.
Final answer?
No, Hamlet.
That is correct.
Oh, come on! Last minute change, and he gets it right. If I've got any of my old uni lectures listening, I was paying attention in Shakespeare. I wasn't, just like playing with my Tamagotchi or whatever.
I was so lucky changing last second.
What's Josh's question? Right. You're going down. You're going down Scorpion Town, son.
I don't feel confident at all today.
Right.
You might know the answer, just not know how to say it because you're
broken today.
Yeah.
Question for Josh. What was the first toy to be advertised on television? Was it the Rubik's Cube, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, or Mr. Potato Head?
Come on, that's.
I don't even
easy.
understand how this is fair.
That's easy. That's a piece of piss. That question.
Is it?
Can I move him further if he gets it wrong?
Can you tell me what year it was?
No, because that's going to give you the answer, isn't it?
No, I can
Which of those toys is the oldest?
A Rubik's Cube, a Rock'em Sock'em.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That's
that one where you press the thing and the
fight.
boxes their heads off.
Yeah.
Or a Mr. Potato Head. Well, I'm going to say Mr. Potato Head is like the most recent from it's Toy Story. A Rubik's Cube or fuck knows. Rock'em Sock'em.
Final answer?
Unfortunately.
You fucking dickhead.
It's Mr. Potato Head.
That's like it wasn't created for Toy Story. It like existed before Toy Story.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's been like around forever. I thought it would that would have been so like it would have been I would have guessed Mr. Potato Head, and then but I would have thought maybe just not too long after Rubik's Cube, and then I would have gone Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
But you're old. Like I wasn't around when it.
I wasn't around when it was.
When was Rock'em Sock'em? Was that 70s or 80s or?
I don't know, but it's
Was
like
that before?
like Mr. Potato was probably around when my fucking mum was a kid.
I feel I'd done too. So I've moved towards the Scorpion.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I hope that everybody listening can hear how deflated I am by this.
All to play for. You could bring it back. It'd be like like a sports movie in Hollywood. You got to look like you're losing before you then win.
All right, let's move on to the next section of more questions and answers. Right, so this one's from Danny Vanderberg. 2 questions. Firstly, will there ever be a collaboration with Jack Mate's Happy Hour? Second, when will Adam be doing a collaboration with Barry Lewis from the old My Virgin Kitchen?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, the first one, I don't know if I fully understand the question. Is that like when's Jack Mate going to come on this podcast?
Yeah.
Because I went on his podcast a while back. I think we did ask him, but like to be honest, and this is not, there's no slight. They were really nice lads, weren't they? Jack and Stevie.
Yeah.
Really nice fellas. But I think for me, it's not that I wouldn't want him to come on, but like I'm personally anyway, I'm more interested in just rather than the kind of YouTube ilk. I'm more interested in people who have like interesting things to. Not that YouTubers aren't interesting. That's the wrong. Do you know what I was trying to say? Just people with interesting stories, like when we had Honor on,
yeah,
and he was telling us about war and stuff. Although it was horrifying, changed my life forever. Couldn't sleep for 3 weeks, but I think I don't know. I think you asked him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe one day.
Yeah, you've been down.
Been down. Like I'm depressed.
They might come on our show. They might not.
Maybe like I said, I think it'd be neat to get them on, but again, I kind of see why, because like that's their fault and they're doing it all the time. So I get why. I mean, it's hard for us to get people up to a sweatbox in Leeds.
Who's Barry Lewis?
He's if this is I don't want to say it's a better question, but this is the more interesting part of the question. So Barry Lewis, he had I don't know if the channel is still called this, but he had a channel called My Virgin Kitchen. Don't ask me why it's called that. Maybe he was a virgin when they started it. I don't know, because it's like an OG channel, cooking channel.
Right.
And it was part of what he used to do was he used to make giant things, right? And they wouldn't necessarily eat. A bit like Epic Mealtime, but imagine a more British, slightly more reserved, slightly classier version of that. People have been asking us to do something together for ages because, of course, I used to sometimes make big stuff in my kitchen with Mrs. Beard and whatnot. And actually, we were going to do something right before, the pandemic, because I think Barry, I don't want to give anything away because I don't know if it's kind of a secret, but he was opening something, right, where he was going to make food. I think he wanted me to kind of come down and we would film something together. And I was like, yeah, man, that'd be cool because I used to watch your channel like a little bit back in the day. And I think we probably just need to get our act together, get a fucking shit together and sort it out, really. But I think of all the collabs that people want to see, that's one that is more plausible. Maybe we could get Barry on the podcast, actually.
Drop him a DM.
Because he's got some, he's a sick cook, as he would say. He's made some neat stuff in his time.
All right, next question from Martin Leach. Would Beard ever do a historical food challenge like Viking food or Roman food or something like that?
I would actually. It's my boy's broke there. So that guy it was that guy from The Simpsons, the teen guy. I saw something that I didn't actually watch it. I think it might have been in trending or something. And it was like somebody eating like a medieval feast. And I thought that would be a cool idea for like a slightly different type of video. So yeah, if I figured out a way I could film it and make it entertaining, yeah, I'd totally do that. Pretty short answer there, but yeah, I'd love to try something like that.
Next one is from Fifi. My question is to Adam. What happened to your studio that you were doing up during lockdown?
Oh, Fifi, I've been trying to sweep this under the rug. So I was going to address it in a video and I thought, nah, people have forgotten by now. That was just kind of like a well-intentioned mistake. I basically got rid of it to allow me to afford me the opportunity financially to travel mostly to North America to shoot videos, because I got that like pretty much right in the peak of the whole COVID pandemic lockdown thing, right?
I think it weren't in the peak. It was after the peak. So I think you bought it at the wrong, or you rented it at the wrong time.
But you felt
like it was the right time.
It was in the middle of lockdown, right? And it was kind of like one of those like no light at the end of the tunnel. You don't really know how things are going to pan out. And I was just getting sick of just filming stuff at home. It didn't feel like it was fun content to make, and I didn't feel like it was what people wanted to see. So I thought, logically, what can I do? I thought I'd get a filming space and maybe kit it out with some stuff to make big things. But just thankfully, by the natural evolution of the channel, and lockdown kind of eased, thankfully, and I got out filming the stuff that I love to do more, and that's what kind of sent the channel into a higher level of, I don't want to say high level of performance because it sounds a bit statistical, but more people were watching the channel, and as a result of that, you realise that's what people want to see more of. So I just thought I don't enjoy making those videos as much. There's no real story to them, so I just thought, chalk that up as a mistake. I've still got all the stuff from it, a lot of which is at Breaking Bread HQ now.
Yeah, just fucking taking up space.
Yeah.
What happened to the BMF?
The sign, big neon sign. That did look a bit Vice City. They made it look like a strip club.
That was cool. That
wasn't the vibe I was going for. I've still got it somewhere. I think it's either at home in storage or.
I think when we move into the next studio, like we'll utilize that.
Yeah, but it always kind of felt a bit. I bought it and I didn't really. I think it was Lindsay's idea to buy it, and I thought it seems a bit egotistical to just have that on the wall behind you. But
I kind of liked it. It was a nice. That shot was actually quite nice. The A cam. I quite liked that. I liked
with the plant in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's no longer something. Actually, the person that rented it out messaged me not long after, because the scatty dude.
Yeah,
is scatty an offensive word or not?
Nah,
I just got that from you, and you sometimes use offensive words. Anyway, the guy that was probably not quite all there, I think he just told him, like you would. I mean, it didn't really matter at that point, right?
Told them what, that you used to have it.
Or this dude that ate food, maybe just this guy that ate food and had a beard, and they just kind of Googled that. I don't know. So I don't know what it is now. I think it's like I think he might make signs, kind of ironically. Maybe I'll ask him for a freebie.
So we can do a breaking beans.
I didn't wreck the toilet. Give me a free sign. So yeah, that's where it's gone. It's no more, and I won't be replacing it. Certainly in the immediate future.
Roger that. Right. CS has asked, any region of the US that you haven't been to yet but would really like to visit?
Oh man, I don't really have like specific places I want to visit. I just like to go places which aren't really touristy places, So I'm done with New York and all that. So, I mean, I enjoy the experience when I'm there, but actually that's a lie. I don't really that much. But I just love. Mostly, I love the kind of the places you wouldn't normally go. You wouldn't say like I'm going to fucking Nebraska, would you? Like nobody would say that. I was like for a holiday. So I mean, just any state that I've not been to really. I've been to quite a lot now, but there's still plenty to clock, if you want to put it that way. some of the Midwest maybe is I don't really know why they call it. The middle of America is often referred to as the Midwest, and I'm thinking, well, how can it be Midwest? Either it's fucking West or it's not, you know, or it's Central. But I toyed with the idea of going to Colorado. I heard that's quite scenic, because there was a contest there. There is a contest there, which is in August, I think. But I didn't. I thought maybe not, just because I'm still at that point now where this year I want to get as many trips done as I can, and I connect. I feel like it's like first world problems, but I hate connecting flights. They bug me, and like the stress of them puts me in a bad place. You know, not potentially missing flights and stuff. Yeah. So a lot of time this year I've been going to places I can fly direct to, no fucking around. But like basically anywhere I've not been, I would love to see. I think I like the South more than I like the North. But Chicago's a big one, actually. My mate Pat Pat Bertoletti lives and works there, and I told him that I'd come and visit. So
Chicago's a cool place.
Yeah,
yeah, I've been. Yeah,
I've never been, but like a big part of I think what I want to do next year is I'd love to do more videos with some of my eating mates. Yeah. People don't necessarily know of. Like a really good, I'd love to do a video with Joey. Even though he'll make me look really bad because he's top class at eating, or Jeff. Or a lot of these are names that people probably don't even know top of their heads, but like just people, maybe Stoney if he's open and he's more closed off than I am,
comes out of retirement,
it's like a hermit, right? But like I'd love to do a video with Matt. That I think a lot of people want to see that, right? Yeah. But to kind of accept that it's just not going to happen. But I would love to do a video. Aside, obviously I've done contests where Matt's been in the video, but like I would love to just do something like together, like a team thing, not like an eat off or anything. Because again, Matt would probably trash me at like most things. But yeah, just to do, because like a lot of people I think want to see collabs, and I'm conscious of doing them because they don't always work in the way you think they're going to work. But that could platform people a little bit, people that I really like, and get more eyes on what they're doing. So I'd love to do that more next year. So it's more about what I can do in there than where I am, to be concise.
That was not concise, but a good answer. Same person had asked, any music genre that people would be surprised to learn you enjoy?
I don't know. Like, would it surprise you if I said any particular genre?
I don't know.
Like a bit of.
I can take this question. I can lead this question. Country music. Would that surprise you?
3 chords and the truth. That doesn't really surprise me that much. No, because you like some absolute shit. So you could have said anything there.
But yeah, the country music for me.
Yeah, Beard, have you seen Machine Gun Kelly's new album? I've fuck seen it.
Machine Gun Kelly can come on the podcast one day. Not. But yeah, country music. My first dance was to a country music song by Tom Rhett.
In life, or you mean your wedding dance?
Wedding dance.
I was going to say, I had visions of him there as like an 8-year-old dancing at Dixie Chicks or something. Oh wait, no, they're called just the Chicks now, aren't they?
I don't even know who they are.
There's your trouble. I said I was going to sing.
Let's go.
There's your trouble. There's your trouble. I don't know the rest of the lyrics, but yeah, I know that song. I think country music, I like any kind of music which is it's written and performed by the people. You're not getting that, George, right? I hate, like, the only thing I hate about music is like factory shopped music, which is just like, it's written by somebody who has great talent at songwriting and then performed by somebody else who takes the credit. And I'm not saying there's no skill in being a great singer or whatever, but I hate that approach to music.
I think there's like 2 genres to country. Sorry to interrupt. There's like country and there's like country pop, which is like
Leanne
what
Rimes.
you're talking about.
Yeah. No, I think so, like some country. I think I get bored of country music quite quickly because there is some sameness to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's not embarrassing like country. It's not. I don't think it's that surprising. Maybe I'm a little bit surprised that you would say. I wouldn't have thought it would be the first thing you would go to. But anyway, I like tons of stuff. You call me a music snob, but I do like quite a lot of stuff. Maybe like. I don't know about genres because there are genres I could say that I don't like everyone in it, but like I have some like guilty pleasures, I guess.
Go on then, give us a couple of guilty pleasures.
Ooh, maybe like, do you know this band Alphabeat? They're not really a band, more like a group. No, you never heard of Alphabeat? That's fuck. That's like, you maybe get overlay a clip or something, George, yeah?
And get copyrighted.
Well, you get 8 seconds these days. Do you not keep? He's a producer, you should know this. They're just like really kind of cheesy, kind of dance poppy stuff, but I think they do write their own songs. I like some 80s stuff. That's not really a guilty pleasure. I like a lot of what the 80s kind of represented for music. even though I wasn't really that sentient because I was born in '85, so I was 4, by the end of the decade. But I like a little bit of synth. I can do some like synth because I normally just say when people say what kind of music do you like, and I'll just be like stuff with guitars. But that's a bit reductive. I like some there's a band called Churches, but they spell like CHVRCHES.
I've heard of them.
A lot of their stuff is really, I think, impressive. I wouldn't probably listen to it at great length. I couldn't tell you an album title, for example, but I like all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
There you go. Then that's the answer to your question, CS.
We're gonna change up the pace a little bit before we go into some more questions. My producer tells me we have a new producer. We have a new section whereby we're gonna guess some. We don't have a name for it or a jingle yet, so we have some logos or something.
So it's like food related logos, and you've got to guess what the logos are.
Are we competing against each other again?
Yeah, competing against each other again.
I feel like I'm at an advantage here, aren't I? Like if it's food logos.
Yeah, we've used some of the Breaking Beans budget from all 4 bags they've sold, and we've bought some buzzers. We've got shows the buzzers, and I'll tell you which one's yours.
This is the jankiest buzzer of all time.
So this is the Scottish flag buzzer.
Fisher Price. Fisher Price, my first buzzer.
So this is my buzzer, and you've got the little call bell there because you're a bell end.
The big shiny bell because I'm a bell end. It took a lot of thought.
So it's a quick fire round. So
right. I thought what I wanted was that we were going to be fighting over that one buzzer, and I was just going to go like, and like right cross you or right hook you, as they say in England.
I mean, feel free to do that.
I'm not going to do that. I'm a man at peace.
Let's fucking dance this dance.
Wait, let me just make sure this is working first, unless you booby trapping me here.
Just have to hit it hard.
Right, that's the technique for it. Yeah. George just went, hit it hard. Forget the H on that word. Right, so you're going to show it to us.
I'll overlay it on screen for those watching, but I'm holding a laptop.
How the listeners going to enjoy this?
Oh shit! Yeah. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify,
skip out 2 minutes.
You've got the video, haven't you? So you'll have to just open your phone and
look at it. Video podcast on Spotify.
If you listen in your car, don't do that.
Right.
All right. First up,
I hope you can see this properly.
Stop your hands on the desk as well. No cheating.
Yeah.
Fucking hell! You didn't press the buzzer, not like destroy the desk.
I think that's Pizza Express.
Correct.
Well done.
Yes.
There's no stakes though for this at the minute.
Steak. I could go for a steak. I'm fucking starving in a minute.
Well, I forget the feeling. It's the way that you're rotating that is an advantage because he says it about 3 milliseconds before me. What the fuck that is? Calm down. You take the studio down?
Corn.
Correct. That is corn.
Typical. Only something with arms your size would know that.
Next one.
Can this go towards the
No.
Sorry, can this go towards the scorpion thing?
No.
All right, okay, go then. The Chubba Chub thing, the lollipop.
Chupa Chups, yeah.
You can tell who eats the most junk food at this table.
What? We've done Pizza Express quad.
Yeah, right, you're winning 3-0.
Chubba Chub, look, he's a fucking spoil sport,
This is his wheelhouse as well.
Yeah, I was wrong on that, wasn't I?
Come on, I'll give you this one. I've got this.
Looks familiar, but I don't. No, if you know it, go for it. I'm older than you.
You
my
love
eyes.
this shit.
Is it Mountain Dew?
Mountain Dew, yeah. Mountain Dew. You like that as well, don't you? That your go-to when you're in the North America.
It's missing the part on the top where it says diet, because I only drink the diet stuff. That's what it was.
I thought I missed the part that actually said Mountain Dew, so you knew what it was.
I've got to get one right here. Come on. Baby Bell. Not Terry Lee.
No.
Fuck off, Laughing Cow.
Laughing cow.
Does he lose a point for getting it wrong?
Well, we should set this up so that if he gets it wrong, you get to answer.
I just started ranting things to do with dairy at that point.
I imagine you at Christmas doing charades as a fucking pit ass.
Yeah.
Right, any more?
Next one.
Fuck is that weird orange thing? Did you like just snot on the screen, George?
I forget. I kind of think I know where it is, but
It's a food thing.
Buzz it if you know.
I don't know where it is though.
Kinder.
Correct.
Oh, that's right. Fucking yeah. That's what I couldn't think. I'm thinking Kinder Bueno, and I'm like, well, who makes a Kinder Bueno?
This guy.
Heinz.
Yeah.
Well, you're a
It's
dad,
pretty
aren't you?
obvious.
You probably do more shopping than me.
Last one.
Mate, Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, Ben and
You
Jerry's.
drink that shit by the gallon.
When I'm filming videos, Josh, yeah, but not. I don't like habitually eat this stuff all the time.
So we'll just go to the scorecard for a decision. I'm pretty sure that was 8-1.
That was a whitewash, man.
This is where Adam's going to put his foot down like a real life celebrity and go, cut that shit out of there.
No,
Josh
I'm gonna be boning up now. I'm gonna be going down the
Boning up?
boning up. You know, like cramming. You know, like be going down the aisle at Tesco, like memorizing all the logos and stuff.
So if we don't have a name for that segment or any sort of preparation towards it, so
Feel free to cut
feel
that,
free
George.
to. But yeah, we need a name for that.
All right,
so.
yeah. Those in the comments section, can you please suggest a name and we will allot the band to make a jingle and it will be as shit as the other ones. On some more questions. So this one's from Zoe Goldsworth. Adam, as you have an English degree, what book do you think has left an impact on your life?
Ooh, that's a solid question. I think it's quite easy for me to answer as well. I'll probably be between three, but 1984, George Orwell, easily. I think I was good to give you an idea of what other things it could have been. I love Catcher in the Rye, J.D. Salinger, and I love fuck. I've totally forgotten the name of it now. We're both flagging today. Harper Lee, the Harper Lee one.
Oops.
To Kill a Mockingbird, Jesus. I think that's like I don't want to say it's a holy trinity of books because there are other books which are good, but yeah, 1984 because sadly it becomes more. I don't want to say more accurate, but like more meaningful as time goes on, which is odd since it's a cautionary tale, really. But yeah, if you've not read, I don't know if you're into reading much. A lot of people I know that read books, they don't often read the classics. I don't know if you call it a classic, but yeah, it's basically, if you don't know what it is, it's a dystopian book about a totalitarian state which controls everything you do and all your actions and whatnot, and about misinformation and stuff like that. And it's just a great book with human elements to it, because it might sound boring on the surface, but yeah, it left a big impression on me when I read that. And I think if we have a general election, read it before the next general election. That's all I'll say about that. I don't want to get too political. People go off on me. I want to know like what, but that's I asked you about the swimming thing because that just popped into my head and I didn't really care. What's your favorite book? And please God, don't say something about Peppa Pig or like fucking Finding the Gruffalo or some shit like that. I don't know.
I like sort
Where's
of.
Wally?
So do you remember Beano from back in the To be fair, I used to read the Beano all the time.
Beano was class actually.
I like books that are like autobiographies or sort of
Fictional book. It has to be a fictional book.
yeah, or like sort of like personal development, like business books. I really enjoy.
Can you tell me a fictional book? One that's not
Slash's autobiography was unbelievable.
What were you telling me about that one? There was a story.
Non-fiction.
not a non-fiction
Sorry.
book. Can you tell me a made-up story, Josh?
I don't
you
really
like?
read them. Sorry.
All right, never mind.
There was a story that you told me about in that Slash autobiography.
Slash is
was
Slash
like-
the guitarist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's any other kind of Slash.
We have lost this today, you know. How are you going to make an episode out of this? Like, he's just trashed me. And then we both were just...
You're going to be like a battery farmed worker, man. After you're just going to be sweating. You'll be like a husk. He's working over the whole weekend, 700 hours of straight editing.
All right, so next question is Glenn Dunyan. Beard, what would be your last meal?
Well, Glenn Dunyan. It might be something with onion. No, I was really just tempted to rhyme. What would be my last meal? I think we had this one before. I feel like we've had it before because I think I said I would make sure, because that feels like I'm on death row. Am I on death row like a condemned man?
Yeah.
I'd eat so much that I didn't get to the electric chair. I'd kill myself by eating. I think I'm one of the few people that probably could do
That's
that.
such a good answer. You definitely didn't say that last time.
Didn't I?
No. So what would you eat in quantity?
I'd eat a lot naturally. But,
Yeah.
I think I'd eat just. I'd eat like a lot of all my favourite things. There'd be some cheesecake in there, like a good solid slab of like Cheesecake Factory cheesecake.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like those ludicrously high calorie, like I forget what the highest calorie one's called, but it's like 2,300 calories in what is actually a pretty normal. It's a big slice, but it's just one slice.
2,300
Something
calories.
like your entire daily allowance of calories in one. I'd have some grilled cheese sandwich, grilled cheese donuts in there, which is one that I, a few slices of cheese between some buttered glazed donuts inside out. Grill them or fry them, whatever. Have some of those because I love those. I could eat a lot of them. Maybe something like a I don't know. I would just eat a lot. I don't think I'd give that much consideration to what it would be. There wouldn't be any vegetables in there though.
No mushrooms.
For my last minute, certainly no mushrooms. It's probably some cereal. I don't eat a lot of cereal, but I always enjoy it whenever I eat it.
That cereal episode you did recently, didn't you? You were in Liverpool or something. They were like a cereal cafe.
Recently?
Oh, it was within the last year.
Years ago? It wasn't within the last year.
Yeah, I'm sure you did one in the last year.
Nah. That one in Liverpool you're talking about, that's so old. That place is actually closed down now. R.I.P. Tiny Rick's.
All right, that's fair enough.
In Liverpool as well. I was thinking of Mike. So I don't know.
R.I.P. Mike.
R.I.P. Mike. Ooh, you know what? As well, let me just add real quick. Maybe I'd make it like an English afternoon tea style thing with scones with some like clotted cream on there, some jam, peanut butter and jam sandwiches. I love that.
That's nice, yeah.
My favourite sandwich as well. I don't know if it's my favourite, but I do like it. It sounds gross. Turkey, some salted turkey. Cream cheese in like a sandwich with some jam on top, which I know sounds a bit weird, but yeah, I don't know. I'll take some like go to one of my old videos where I'm just eating stuff that I like. If I get a bacon milkshake, bacon peanut butter and Oreo shake from Five Guys.
Beard shake.
Yeah, just a bunch of stuff that I like. Yeah. All
right, Langers has asked, any chance of getting Sister Beard on the podcast? You down for that?
I maybe down the line, but I don't. It's kind of like. I want to get some actual. Not that I'm saying my sister's not interesting. She's not really that interesting, actually. Now I think about it, top of my head. But I'd like to get. I don't want to people like where it's hard for us when we approach guests to get the buy-in right. So I don't want to just whoever potentially wants to. We ask to come on the channel. I don't want them to come on and just see like members of my family. It just kind of looks a little bit cheap, I think.
I went to get your nan on before for Sister Beard.
that would definitely get us cancelled. You know what all people are like. So maybe one day.
Put that on the maybe pile.
Put that on the maybe, but probably not pile.
All right. Sorry, Langers. All right, last question of the episode. Kieran's life has asked, the prison...
We're having a nightmare today, George.
This is bad, this, isn't it? Yeah.
I feel like this is the most amateurish yet, and that is saying something. I'm fucking twitching, you can't talk.
The prison video idea sounds cracking. Would definitely watch. Beard's next video, prison food challenge, ?
Yeah, just get Mrs. Beard to cook for me. That's some straight up prison food. I want to. Do you think that's achievable that we could go to prison? We probably just couldn't get like permission for it, right? Because it's not. I get like how Louis Theroux gets permission to go to like Miami Mega
Jail, to do like a YouTube one.
But can I come in and like scoff some stuff in the canteen? I would totally be up for doing it. I'd be up for doing it with no protection as well. You know, like when they're like the security guard on there, I'd be up for like taking the risk of somebody coming up and shivering me or whatever.
Like on Max and Paddy where they hit him outside head with a tray.
To be eating like this. But I think that would be, I told you last time, I think that's not the next evolution of the channel, but I would love to now and then maybe want someone to do something which is eating. It's always eating something.
Extreme eating.
But in a different environment, which makes it interesting. I think experiencing what prison food is like, I think would be quite fun.
Yeah.
So if anyone works genuinely, if anyone works like as a guard at a prison or something like or knows prison, if there's any way we could do it in a reasonably controlled way, which doesn't like compromise, I don't care about my safety, but everyone else's safety, let us know, get in touch. Probably, I'm thinking the first thing that came to my head was like Wakefield Prison, but that's full of really bad offenders, right?
That's the really bad one.
Bronson's there, isn't he?
Bronson is. That's like the.
That'd be a collab, wouldn't it? This is the most famous tash in the penal system.
My girlfriend used to work there.
Oh yeah,
in Wakefield Prison. Her dad still does.
What does she do in the prison?
I don't know. It's just like more phone calls, answering calls and stuff like that. But he's an actual prison guard.
Oh, ask him if you think if he says no, like nobody's gonna be offended. But just say, hey, listen, I know these idiots that like film daft shit. Would you reckon they'd be able to go in, like sign a waiver, say they can give up their life to go in?
Just think about how much your father-in-law fucking hates you already.
If
then
he says no,
this stupid question.
All they can say is no, right?
All he will say is no.
Well, there you go.
Mate,
There's your answer.
Like, what a way to end the podcast. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to apologise in advance to those that had to, like, whoever's enjoyed it to this point, you know, props. We'll,
lad, it's only going to get worse. Are we doing a third one?
yeah, I need to eat something.
I'm all right. I don't need to eat. I'm not really bothered about that. It's more like the...
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Can you meme that? Hello, darkness, my old friend.
It's hard work, isn't it, talking? I've never really realised before.
It's funny, like last sort of little spiel. I were at that do with Mike with it on Friday, and I spoke to
That one you didn't invite me to.
the one that I didn't invite you to, and I spoke to a guy there, the videographer from Manchester, and he was like, "Oh, I've got this client." He was sort of asking a bit of advice, and he was like, "I've got this client that wants to do a podcast. Like, what would you charge? What would you do? How would you do it?" And I explained our setup. I said how we do it and why we do it like this. And then he's like, "Yeah, he wants to do like 4 podcasts a day," and he said, "If not 5." And I said, "Look, mate." And I like,
did you slam your fist down like you were in that buzz a second ago?
Listen, mate. I said, I'd consider me and Beard pretty
Stop calling me Beard, man. It's getting weird now. You never call me Beard like in real life.
I do.
You don't say you're right.
No,
Beard.
no, I call you Adam.
Yeah.
Me and Adam are all right at podcasts, and we can do 2 at a push. I said, but if your guy has never done a podcast before and he thinks that he can do 4 interviews, so 4 individual interviews of an hour 30 plus, I went, not a fucking chance, mate. I said, it just isn't going to happen. And we're proving him right today.
Yeah, it's not that you don't want it. I think naturally you lose a bit of energy, don't you? Like the longer you go. So if you can avoid it, not that we're giving a podcast like tutorial. Who are we to do that? But sometimes it's a necessity to do a couple in a day, but it's not ideal, is it?
No, absolutely not.
But sometimes it does lead to some quite humorous hijinks, like Josh forgetting how to read, for example.
I love how we're openly saying, "Oh, next week's will probably be shit."
Yeah, disclaimer.
Right, let's get some food.
What you buying?
I'll buy.
I'm not eating. I don't mind asking. Peace.